something bigger than your fear. Maybe it is your gut. Maybe it is destiny. Maybe it is faith. Maybe it is the belief that your life can become more than what it is right now. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road gives you the courage to follow your heart even when the path in front of you is uncertain. And sometimes that path will take you away from the road everyone else is walking. That road might feel lonely. People may question your decisions. They may doubt your vision. They may tell you that your dreams are unrealistic. But listen carefully. Every person who ever achieved something great once walked a path that others did not understand. Your time is limited, and because it is limited, you cannot waste it living someone else's life. You cannot build your future based on the expectations of people who are too afraid to chase their own dreams. Do not be trapped by dogma. Do not live your life according to the results of other people's thinking. Do not allow the noise of other people's opinions to drown out your inner voice, because deep inside, you already know something powerful. You know what you truly want to become. You know what kind of life you want to build. The problem is not that people don't know their dreams. The problem is that fear convinces them to abandon those dreams. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear destroys potential. Fear convinces people to stay in situations that make them unhappy. Fear keeps people from taking opportunities that could change their lives. Fear whispers a dangerous lie into your mind. It says, "What if you fail?" But there is another question you should ask yourself. What if you succeed? What if the risk you are afraid to take becomes the opportunity that changes your life forever? You must understand something about fear. Fear is not always a signal to stop. Sometimes fear is a signal that you are standing at the edge of growth, the edge of something new, the edge of a breakthrough that could transform your future. And growth always feels uncomfortable in the beginning. It feels uncertain. It feels difficult. But that discomfort is the price of transformation. If you want a life that most people never experience, you must be willing to do things most people are not willing to do. You must be willing to try again after failure. You must be willing to stand up after life knocks you down. Because life will knock you down. There will be moments when things go wrong, moments when you feel defeated, moments when the path forward seems impossible. But those moments reveal something powerful about the human spirit. The human spirit is stronger than most people realize. It is difficult to break a person who refuses to quit. Anyone can feel confident when life is going well. Anyone can believe in their dreams when everything feels easy. But the real test of character appears when life becomes difficult, when you lose something important, when your plans fall apart, when you feel like giving up. That is when courage becomes necessary. It takes courage to keep moving forward after disappointment. It takes courage to start again when your first attempt fails. It takes courage to believe in your future when your present feels uncertain. But courage grows through action. Every time you face a challenge instead of running away from it, your courage becomes stronger. Every time you continue working toward your goal despite fear, your confidence grows. And slowly, step by step, you begin to transform. You begin to see yourself differently. You begin to realize that the limits you once believed were real were actually created by doubt. Because most limits are not physical. They are mental. They exist in the stories people tell themselves. Stories about why they can't succeed. Stories about why their dreams are impossible. Stories about why someone else deserves success more than they do. But those stories are not facts. They are beliefs. And beliefs can be changed. You can decide that the story of your life will not be one of fear and regret. You can decide that the story of your life will be one of courage and persistence. That decision begins with responsibility, taking full responsibility for your life, accepting where you are today without excuses, accepting that the future you want will require effort, discipline, and commitment, but also accepting something empowering. You have the ability to change your direction. You have the ability to learn new skills. You have the ability to grow beyond the limitations you once believed defined you. Your past does not control your future. Yesterday does not decide who you will become tomorrow. The only question that matters is this: what are you going to do next? Are you going to allow fear to continue controlling your decisions? Or are you going to take control of your life? Because the last chapter of your life has not been written yet. There are still opportunities waiting for you. Still experiences you have not lived. Still victories you have not achieved. But those victories will not appear automatically. They require action. They require discipline. They require the willingness to push yourself beyond comfort. You must decide that you are going to live your life with passion, with energy, with determination. You must decide that you will push yourself even when things become difficult, that you will continue working even when progress is slow, that you will refuse to quit when others give up. Because perseverance is one of the most powerful qualities a person can develop. It is the ability to continue despite obstacles, the ability to keep going when motivation fades, the ability to stay committed to a vision even when the path becomes uncertain. People who succeed are not always the most talented people, but they are often the most persistent. They are the people who refuse to give up on themselves. They refuse to accept defeat as the final outcome. They stand back up again and again, and eventually their persistence creates results. So promise yourself something today. Promise yourself that you will not allow temporary feelings to control your future. Feelings change. Some days you will feel inspired, other days you will feel tired. But principles remain constant. Discipline remains constant. Commitment remains constant. When you build your life on strong principles instead of temporary emotions, your progress becomes unstoppable. Because even when motivation disappears, your discipline continues. Even when fear appears, your commitment continues. Even when life becomes difficult, your determination continues. And that is the mindset that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary stories. So move forward. Take action. Follow the path that feels meaningful to you. And remember something powerful every single day. Your potential is far greater than your doubts. Your future is far greater than your fears. And if you refuse to give up on yourself, there is no limit to what your life can become. So stand up, believe again, push forward, and keep going until the life you once imagined becomes the life you are living. Because the story of your life is still being written, and the best chapters may still be ahead. Something greater than the fear that tries to stop you. Because every meaningful dream begins in uncertainty. No one begins their journey already knowing every step. No one begins their journey already confident that everything will work out. The truth is that most successful people started exactly where you are. Confused, unsure, afraid. But they moved forward anyway. And that decision, the decision to move forward despite fear, is what separates people who live ordinary lives from those who create extraordinary ones. Your time on this earth is limited. Every day that passes is a day you will never get back. That is why it is so important not to waste your life trying to live according to someone else's expectations. Too many people spend their entire lives trying to please others, trying to fit into a system that was never designed for their dreams, trying to follow a path that feels safe instead of a path that feels meaningful. But safety does not always lead to fulfillment. Comfort does not always lead to happiness. Sometimes the greatest growth happens when you leave the familiar path and begin creating your own. And that journey begins by listening to your inner voice. Deep inside you, there is a voice that knows what you want. A voice that reminds you of the dreams you once had. A voice that tells you that you are capable of more. But that voice can become quiet when surrounded by negativity. It becomes quiet when people tell you that your dreams are unrealistic. It becomes quiet when fear convinces you that failure would be too painful. So you must protect that voice. You must protect your vision. Because the world is full of people who gave up on their dreams and now try to convince others to do the same. Do not let their fear become your future. Instead, choose courage. Choose the path of growth. Choose the path of effort and persistence, because nothing meaningful in life comes easily. Every achievement requires sacrifice. Every success requires patience. Every dream requires work. There will be days when you feel unstoppable. Days when your energy is high and your confidence is strong. But there will also be days when things feel difficult. Days when progress feels slow. Days when doubt tries to convince you that your effort is pointless. Those are the days that matter most. Because those are the days when character is built. Anyone can move forward when everything feels easy. But true determination appears when things become hard. When you wake up tired but continue working anyway. When you face failure but try again anyway. When you feel uncertain but keep moving forward anyway. That is the power of persistence. Persistence turns small daily actions into massive long-term results. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It transforms people who once doubted themselves into people who inspire others. But persistence requires discipline. And discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it. It means waking up early when your mind tells you to sleep. It means continuing your work when distractions try to pull you away. It means staying focused on your purpose while others waste time complaining about their circumstances. Because the truth is simple. Most people do not fail because they lack talent. Most people fail because they lack consistency. They start with excitement. They begin their journey with motivation. But when the excitement fades and the work becomes repetitive, they stop. They give up before their effort has time to create results. You must refuse to be one of those people. You must become someone who continues working long after the initial motivation disappears. Because motivation is temporary, but discipline can last forever. When discipline becomes part of your identity, your life changes. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop waiting to feel ready. Instead, you take action. You move forward. You create momentum through consistent effort. And momentum is powerful. Momentum builds confidence. Momentum builds skill. Momentum builds progress. Small steps taken. Small steps taken every single day may not seem powerful in the moment. Sometimes they feel insignificant. Sometimes they feel too small to matter. But over time, those small steps create something extraordinary. A person who reads 10 pages a day finishes dozens of books in a year. A person who improves just 1% every day becomes dramatically better over time. A person who refuses to quit eventually reaches places others only talk about. This is how greatness is built. Not in one dramatic moment. Not in one lucky opportunity, but through thousands of quiet decisions made when nobody is watching. Through discipline on the days when motivation disappears. Through effort on the days when progress feels invisible. Through faith on the days when doubt tries to take control. And you must remember something important about doubt. Doubt will always appear before growth. Every major decision in your life will come with uncertainty. Every meaningful opportunity will come with risk. But risk is not the enemy. The real enemy is regret. The regret of never trying. The regret of living your entire life wondering what could have happened if you had believed in yourself. Years from now, you will not regret the risks you took. You will regret the chances you were too afraid to take. So stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to chase your dreams. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is coming to build your future for you. Your life is your responsibility. And that responsibility is not a burden. It is power. Because if your life is your responsibility, that means you also have the power to change it. You have the power to change your habits. You have the power to change your mindset. You have the power to change the direction of your future. It may not happen overnight. Transformation rarely happens quickly. But with consistent effort, change becomes inevitable. The person you become tomorrow will be shaped by the decisions you make today, the habits you practice, the thoughts you repeat, the actions you choose when things become difficult. Because character is not built during easy times. Character is built during challenges, when life tests your patience, when obstacles appear in your path, when people doubt your vision. Those moments reveal who you truly are. And those moments give you a choice. You can allow difficulty to defeat you. Or you can allow difficulty to strengthen you, because every challenge carries a hidden opportunity. An opportunity to grow stronger. An opportunity to become wiser. An opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you once believed. You must develop the mindset of someone who refuses to be broken by adversity. Someone who sees obstacles as lessons. Someone who understands that temporary failure is part of long-term success. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the process of success. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. Every setback reveals something you need to improve. Every challenge forces you to grow. But only if you refuse to quit. The moment you quit, the lesson disappears. The growth stops. The opportunity vanishes. That is why perseverance is one of the most powerful qualities a person can develop. Perseverance means continuing even when the results are slow. Continuing even when others stop believing in you. Continuing even when your progress feels invisible. Because invisible progress is still progress. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees the plant. Skills develop quietly before they become obvious to the world. Confidence grows slowly before it becomes unstoppable. And one day, all the effort you invested begins to show. One day, the progress that felt invisible becomes undeniable. One day, the discipline you practiced becomes the strength that carries you through life. But that moment only comes to people who refuse to stop. So remind yourself every single day why you started. Remind yourself of the dreams that once excited you. Remind yourself of the life you want to build. Because your vision is the fuel that keeps you moving forward. When the work becomes difficult, your vision keeps you going. When the results are slow, your vision keeps you patient. When doubt appears, your vision reminds you what is possible. And the most powerful visions are not only about personal success. They are about purpose. About creating something meaningful. About becoming someone who inspires others. About proving that determination can overcome obstacles. About proving that persistence can turn dreams into reality. Imagine the person you could become if you refuse to give up. Imagine the strength you could develop if you faced every challenge with courage. Imagine the life you could build if you committed yourself fully to your goals. That future is not impossible. It is simply waiting for the version of you who refuses to quit. So decide today that you will keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear, even when the progress is slow, even when fear tries to convince you to stop, because the greatest victories belong to those who continue long after others have given up. And one day you will look back at this moment. You will remember the decision you made to keep going, and you will realize that the courage you showed during the hardest moments of your life became the foundation of everything you achieved. So stand up. Take another step. Push a little harder. Believe a little stronger. And keep moving forward. Because your future is being built right now. With every decision you make. With every challenge you overcome. With every moment you choose courage instead of fear. Your story is still being written. And the next chapter can be the one that changes everything. Small steps taken every single day begin to change something deep inside you. At first, the change is invisible. No one around you notices it. Your friends may not see it. Your family may not understand it. But inside you, something is shifting. You begin to see the world differently. You begin to realize that success is not some mysterious gift given to a lucky few. Success is built. It is built through effort. It is built through patience. It is built through the quiet determination of someone who refuses to quit. And the moment you understand that, your mindset begins to transform. You stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You stop worrying about how far ahead others might be. Instead, you focus on becoming better than you were yesterday. Because real competition is not with other people. The real competition is with the person you used to be. Every day you have a choice. You can repeat the habits that keep you stuck. Or you can create the habits that move you forward. And habits are powerful because they shape your destiny. What you do every day eventually becomes who you are. If you spend your days complaining, negativity becomes your identity. If you spend your days learning, growth becomes your identity. If you spend your days working toward your dreams, success slowly becomes your reality. But none of this happens without effort. The truth is that greatness demands something from you. It demands discipline. It demands sacrifice. It demands the courage to keep going when things feel uncomfortable. Because growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is uncomfortable. Becoming someone stronger than you were yesterday requires leaving behind the version of yourself that once accepted mediocrity. And that can feel difficult. Your mind will try to pull you back toward comfort. It will whisper excuses. It will suggest that you wait until tomorrow. It will convince you that resting today will not matter. But those small decisions shape your future. Every day you delay your dreams, you push your potential further away. Every day you choose discipline, you bring your dreams closer. So ask yourself a powerful question. What kind of person do you want to become? Do you want to become someone who always talks about dreams but never takes action? Or do you want to become someone who quietly works until those dreams become real? Because the difference between those two lives is action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates progress. Progress creates confidence. And confidence creates a person who begins to believe that anything is possible. But belief alone is not enough. You must combine belief with relentless effort. You must wake up every day with the understanding that success is built through daily choices. Choices to work when others rest. Choices to learn when others complain. Choices to continue when others quit. Because the world rewards persistence. The world rewards those who refuse to surrender to temporary difficulties. There will be moments when everything feels overwhelming. moments when the weight of responsibility feels heavy, moments when the path forward seems uncertain. During those moments, you must remind yourself why you started. Remember the dream that once filled you with excitement. Remember the future you once imagined. Remember the person you promised yourself you would become. Because that person is still possible. That life is still possible. But it requires courage. It requires you to keep moving forward even when fear stands in your way. Fear will always exist. Fear will try to convince you that failure is inevitable. Fear will tell you that you are not ready. Fear will whisper that your dreams are too big. But fear is not the voice of truth. Fear is simply the voice of comfort, trying to keep you safe. And while comfort may feel good in the moment, it rarely leads to greatness. Greatness lives on the other side of discomfort, on the other side of effort, on the other side of the moment when you decide that your dreams are more important than your fears. That decision changes everything. Because once you make that decision, you stop waiting, you stop doubting, you stop allowing excuses to control your life. Instead, you begin acting with purpose. You begin moving with determination. You begin building a life based on courage instead of fear. And something remarkable begins to happen. The more you face your fears, the smaller they become. The more challenges you overcome, the stronger you become. The more effort you invest in your dreams, the more real those dreams begin to feel. Slowly but surely, you begin to realize something powerful. You are capable of far more than you once believed. The limits you once accepted begin to disappear. Your confidence begins to grow. Your vision becomes clearer. Your determination becomes stronger. And one day you wake up and realize that you are no longer the person you used to be. You are stronger. You are wiser. You are more resilient. You have become someone who refuses to be defeated by temporary setbacks. And that transformation is one of the greatest victories a person can experience. Because once you develop that mindset, nothing can truly stop you. Life may challenge you. Obstacles may appear, but you will continue moving forward. Because you understand something most people never learn. Success is not about avoiding difficulty. Success is about becoming the kind of person who can overcome difficulty. So continue your journey. Continue your effort. Continue believing in the future you are creating, even when the progress is slow, even when the path is uncertain, even when the world around you seems to doubt your vision. Because the greatest achievements in history were once considered impossible, and the only reason they became reality is because someone refused to give up. Someone believed strongly enough to continue. Someone had the courage to keep moving forward. Let that person be you. Let your story become proof that persistence can overcome fear. Let your journey become an example of what happens when a person refuses to settle for an average life. Because your potential is still waiting. Your dreams are still possible, and the life you imagine is still within reach if you continue moving forward with courage, discipline, and belief. So take another step today, and then another tomorrow, and keep walking forward until the life you once dreamed about becomes the life you are living. Small steps taken every day will eventually lead you somewhere powerful. At first, it may feel like nothing is changing. You wake up early. You work hard. You stay disciplined. But the results are slow. Sometimes so slow that you start questioning yourself. You start wondering if your effort is really making a difference. You start wondering if the dream you are chasing is even possible. And this is the moment where most people quit. Not because they are incapable. Not because they are weak. But because they lose patience with the process. They expect instant results. They expect success to arrive quickly. But greatness was never designed to be built quickly. Greatness is built through endurance, through consistency, through the quiet determination of someone who refuses to stop. Every successful person you admire walked through this same phase, the phase where progress was invisible, the phase where doubt was loud, the phase where quitting felt easier than continuing. But they continued. They stayed committed. They kept showing up every single day. And eventually, the results appeared. Because effort always compounds. Just like interest in a bank account, consistent effort multiplies over time. One day of discipline may not seem powerful, but 1,000 days of discipline can transform a life. One small improvement may not seem important, but hundreds of small improvements can create greatness. So never underestimate the power of consistency. Consistency turns ordinary people into extraordinary examples. Consistency turns dreams into achievements. Consistency turns doubt into confidence. But consistency requires belief. You must believe that your effort matters even when you cannot yet see the results. You must believe that your future can become greater than your present. You must believe that the struggle you are experiencing right now is preparing you for something bigger. Because struggles are not always punishments. Sometimes struggles are preparation. Preparation for strength. Preparation for wisdom. Preparation for the responsibility that comes with success. Every challenge you face is teaching you something, teaching you patience, teaching you resilience, teaching you discipline. And these qualities are far more valuable than temporary comfort. Because comfort rarely creates growth, but adversity creates strength. Adversity builds character. Adversity reveals who you truly are. And if you choose to face adversity with courage, it will transform you. You will become someone who does not fear difficulty, someone who does not run away from responsibility, someone who understands that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. And when you reach that mindset, life begins to change. Problems that once felt overwhelming become manageable. Challenges that once scared you become lessons. Doubt that once controlled you becomes motivation to prove yourself right. Because you begin to trust yourself. You begin to trust your ability to figure things out. You begin to trust that even if things go wrong, you will find a way forward. That trust is powerful. It is the foundation of confidence. Confidence is not built by avoiding difficulty. Confidence is built by overcoming difficulty. Every time you solve a problem, your confidence grows. Every time you survive a challenge, your belief becomes stronger. Every time you continue despite fear, your courage expands. And one day you realize something incredible. The life you once thought was impossible is slowly becoming your reality. The dreams that once felt distant are now within reach. The person you once hoped to become is beginning to appear in the mirror. And in that moment, you will understand something important. None of it happened by accident. It happened because you refused to quit. It happened because you stayed disciplined when others stopped. It happened because you believed in your future even when the present felt uncertain. That is the power of perseverance. Perseverance is the difference between people who talk about dreams and people who live them. It is the force that pushes you forward when everything inside you wants to stop. It is the voice that reminds you that giving up would only guarantee failure. And you did not come this far just to quit now. You came this far to grow, to evolve, to become stronger than you were yesterday. So as you continue your journey, remember this: your story is still being written. The struggles you face today will become the lessons that inspire others tomorrow. The discipline you practice today will become the success you experience in the future. The courage you show today will become the strength that carries you through life. So keep moving forward. Keep believing. Keep working. Even when the road feels long. Even when the results take time. Even when people doubt your vision. Because the people who eventually succeed are not always the most talented. They are the ones who refuse to give up. They are the ones who continued when everyone else stopped. They are the ones who believed that their dreams were worth fighting for. And now, it is your turn. Your turn to rise. Your turn to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you once believed. Your turn to build a life that reflects your true potential. So stand up with determination, face the future with courage, and promise yourself something powerful. No matter how difficult the journey becomes, you will not quit. You will not surrender. You will not allow fear to decide your future. Instead, you will keep moving forward, step by step, day by day, until the life you once dreamed about becomes the life you are living. And when that day comes, you will look back at every challenge, every struggle, every moment of doubt, and you will realize something extraordinary. All of it was worth it. Because it transformed you into the person you were always meant to become. So keep going. Your future is waiting. And the best chapters of your life are still ahead.